What's going on, guys? Blazing here, and today I wanted to do a little bit of a twist. Matt actually put out a video, things that need to happen to raid, and I listened to it. I listened to it a couple of times, and I think I may have a different view on some things. So I wanted to kind of go through this and kind of see what his thoughts were and what your thoughts were on this video. So let's give it a whirl. We'll just put some clan boss on in the background. Let's see what he's saying.
Hey guys, welcome back to another raid video today. In this video, I want to talk about the things that I want to see.
By the way, if you haven't already checked out Matt, great content creator. He puts a lot of endgame content out there. He is part of the Mad Clan, so they always place at least top 10, but for Platinum Arena. But yeah, he's I definitely go take a look at his channel. I'll throw his channel on the comments below. All right, let's get back into it.
Happen for Raid Shadow Legends in year 2023. This is the 4th year I've been playing this game. I started playing Raid Shadow Legends back in 2019, December 2019. When I first started playing this game, it was during middle of the Tournament Fusion. I did not complete the Tournament Fusion, and I know the game was released early 2019, and the game was in beta during 2018. So this is really, this game is really 4 years old now, probably.
So he's established it. He's been a long time player. I mean, he's played almost actually longer than I have. So he's been around to see all of the clan hopping and when the clan boss was broken and you could only attack him for like the first 10 players. And if the first 10 players ended up attacking and killing the clan boss, no one else in clan could do it. And Plarium kept going on and on about, oh, we can't fix this and da 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 da. So he's been through a lot of this stuff going on.
4.5 years old. So I think Plarium need to do something to keep Raid Shadow Legends at the top, because a lot of friends that once played with me, they already quit this game because they find this game to just eventually become boring to you, you know? So I really...
So that says a lot right there. I mean, that's end game players. That's whales, Platinum Arena pushers that have been playing the game and quit. So that's kind of the long-term retention right there isn't holding because people are finding it boring or just losing interest in it. So that speaks a lot in what Plarium is doing wrong and how they're not keeping the community or the player base happy, or at least a long-term player base. They're great about bringing in new players, but keeping the long-term players, and that's something I've experienced too. Guys that I played with when I first started have quit, and given their council wares, just said done. I'm over with, So
think in year 2023, Plarium needs to do some good thing to this game instead of adding more content that can be monetized, like Soul System or Sand Devil's Necropolis. I mean, these systems are okay, but these systems are just heavily monetized. I want them to add more things that can benefit everybody, not just pay-to-win players. So let's get into topics. The topics of this video, which is the things I want to see happen for Raid Shadow Legends in year 2023. The first thing is I want them to add more doable PvE content. Alright, stage 25 dungeon was added to the game probably for like a year and a half ago, long time ago. Alright, and back in the day, stage 25 was not that easy when you first introduced to the game, but as time goes by, people were able to just pretty much solo this place using a Theodore or using a Bad Alcazar or even using a Tomb Lord, something like that. I think it's time for Plarium to add more difficult dungeon content. I'm not talking about Hydra yet. Let's just say dungeon content. And I'm not really talking about Iron Twist Fortress. Just for these dungeons here, it is time for Plarium in year 2023 to add stage 26 to 30. I think it needs to happen. And I want Plarium to make it like relatively more difficult, because on my personal experience, I think stage 25 is still a little bit too easy. What do you guys think? I think if they ever gonna add more difficult dungeon stages, I think they should make it like at least you cannot just solo it. You know what I mean? Make it to the difficulty where you cannot use one champion to clear it. That's just my baseline of making a challenging content. You know, so yeah, and maybe what they can do is they can also like add dungeon special effect to the game, which I already saw other gacha game do. Which is like, for example, in stage 26, all the enemy is going to take 50% less poison damage, and they're gonna take 100% more HP burn damage. Stuff like that. Just fun stuff so people can test out different teams. Because right now, since they nerfed the enemy max HP, the only strategy you can use is poison team. There's no other choice if you want to speedrun them, and I think it's kind of dumb, right? This is really the only strategy if you want to speedrun it, just using poison champion. I think they need to come up with an idea to make all different types of champion work. So yeah, I want to see them adding stage 20 dungeon in year 2023, and I want them to make it not too easy. Obviously not too difficult, but at least just don't let players to be able to solo it. It's not fun. By the way, one
So I agree with him there. Dungeon content is kind of stale. I mean, we're farming the same thing over and over again, constantly on every month when we do an infusion. So a lot of endgame players, I mean, I find no enjoyment in doing any dungeon runs. I find Hydra a lot more enjoyable. I find Clan Boss a lot more enjoyable. So I totally agree. Like there needs to be something where the difficulty ramps up, and let's say like if it's a solo champion, like the dungeon has a mechanic in where for you to be able to take less damage, you have to have 5 champions in there, all alive. So you do some sort of damage mitigation based on how many champions are still alive when you get to the boss, something like that. I think some a mechanic like that is kind of where he would go, and what my thoughts on it, what my opinion would be, would work on it. So
one more thing about dungeon I really want to see them do is if they are ever gonna add stage 26 to 30, I want them to add mythic gear drop to the dungeons.
I agree with that 100%. I do not want to be farming legendary and epic, and I sure shit don't want to be getting a 5-star rare when I'm spending way more energy farming higher content dungeons, and I'm spending more time and having to do more work. And we know if they do put mythical gear in, they're not going to. I mean, the drop rate will be like a 1%, and the RNG on that is going to be, oh well, you got one and it's a flat stat piece, 100%. So I agree with that, and I definitely think that that should be the reward. Like it should just be legendary or mythic, or like 6-star epic. Like rare should not even be allowed to be given into that one, and misery shards should not be part of that either.
That's what I want to see, because currently we can only get to up to legendary gear, which is the orange gear, right? And you can get some mythic gear from Hydra. I'll show you guys this. For example, this red gear, right? You cannot get it anywhere else, only in
That's a
Hydra.
great piece, by the
So
way.
I really want them to add this type of mythic gear drop to the dungeons, maybe in new difficulties. That's what I hope to see. All right, so next thing obviously is it's our most recent new content release, Sandel's
Ooh,
Necropolis. Everybody's been talking about it. The oil, which you can ascend your gear. Of course, you guys know what I'm gonna say, right? They should add a reroll feature to it. It just needs to happen, you know. Look, like I know my Lyris has very strong gear, but like, still, for this type of piece, you cannot reroll it, right? You cannot reroll a lot of top tier piece. For example, let's see this one. Like this is a really, really good piece. You cannot reroll it. It gives me flat defense. It should be a top tier. It's not top tier anymore. It's just an above average piece. So I think I said it many times in my previous video. If they don't add reroll feature after 3 months, nobody's gonna be farming Sand Devil's Necropolis. Like I don't even farm it as often right now because like I don't have any gear to roll, right? if I roll on a god tier piece and it give me flat defense, I just stop. That's how simple it is. Like for now, I don't even have any gear pieces to roll, and I think let's say after 3 months, most people are gonna run out of gear pieces to spend oil on. So they really just need to add reroll feature to this, to Gear Ascension. Otherwise, it's just gonna be dead content, right? And
I agree totally with that. I will tell you, I haven't farmed anything past level or stage 7 of Sand Devil because I just don't need it. You know, there's so much RNG in it where, if I knew that it was basically enhancing the main stat of the gear that I had, hell yeah, I'd spend all my energy in there every day because that would be OP and I'd get my gear into a much better place. But that's not what it does. Uh, the flat stat aspect of it. I mean, I've got speed boots that I'm prioritizing to roll to get more speed in them, and I'm getting flat stat HP, flat stat attack, and that's not like work on a Cephii or an Arbiter or something. So I totally think that that's true. Again, I haven't been touching it whatsoever. I don't even have a team for it. I just go in and throw whatever stage 7, clear it, get my quest that I need done, and that's about the only time I really farm it. Um, and he is 100% right. Once you level up all your gear, if you have 700 pieces of gear and you've rolled it all, and 500 out of the 700 aren't rolling the way you want it to be, which is what's going to happen, and that's even too high of um, a ratio. It's why farm it, why put the energy into that where the return on it is not going to be useful, because what an end game account such as his or mine, I mean, his end game account is way higher than mine, but end game accounts get, like, if we're lucky, one piece that we'll keep out of every 100 runs, that is still usable for us. So I think he's totally on the ball with that.
then I think what's gonna happen also is they're going to add accessory ascension, right? Because I don't see a reason why not. Since we already have gear ascension, it doesn't make sense if they just don't add accessory ascension. Because if they do that, it's gonna give them more money. And yeah, since we already have gear ascension, I don't really have a problem with accessory ascension, right? Just to be
So, I mean, they did say in one of their What Next videos that that is something that's going to be happening. Um, they didn't tell us when, but it is going to be happening. My only worry about the reroll feature is that they'll put a paywall behind it, like they did with the Chaos Ore, and you'll get like one every month, or they're going to put it in as a reward that you get and take something else away. Like if they take our ancient shards away from certain events and put that in, I mean, what's more useful to your account? Is it the oil to re-roll RNG again, or is it the 3, 4, or 5? The 3 or 4 star chicken with the 5-star legendary you're gonna get out of it. So that's my only worry about it, is how are they gonna give it to you? Like, I think a great way to do it is put it in the bazaar. I think that, if they put it in there, then it'll entice people to do 3v3 more, and then they could only get it out of there. So you have to do 3v3. I think that works great as a result, or as a solving the issue for that. But we all know that that's not what they're gonna do. They're gonna sell it for $20 a pop.
honest. And then also one more thing I want to see Plarium do is I want to talk about, let's say I want to talk about Chaos Ore, right? Let's say Chaos Ore. Currently, you can only use it on gear once. What I want to see is I want Plarium to just remove this limit. Alright? Maybe like every attempt you do this, it's not gonna cost the same. For example, the first time you use it costs 1 Chaos Ore, the second time let's say costs 2, and third time let's say costs 4, stuff like that. Like I just think that they limit this to 1 doesn't really make sense. You only got one shot. This is basically the same thing as Gear Ascension. You only got one shot. I think like why not just let player use it infinite many times? Just add cost to it, right? People might
So I kind of have mixed feelings about that. Yeah, I feel that we should be able to reroll, but I don't think that we should have an infinite amount, right? Because all you have to do is, even if you put a paywall behind it. A whale out there will buy 15, 20 KSR and just keep re-rolling it until they hit like a quad speed or a quad quit rate or a quad resist. So there needs to be some checks and balances. I do agree that we need to be able to re-roll it, especially if I'm getting a flat stat. I can't tell you how many times I've rolled like a triple accuracy or a triple resist in a set that doesn't matter, and I get a flat stat. And I'm like, crap, I should have just kept the resist. That was better. But I was hoping to get speed or crit rate or crit damage. So should they add a reroll feature? I agree, 100%. Should it be unlimited? I disagree with that fact. I think they should do it up to like 5 times. That way, but you shouldn't be able to re-roll a stat that you've already rolled. So if I roll flat HP on it, my next roll cannot be flat HP, right? That comes out of the equation. I think that's probably a better way to do it. It still gives it RNG. It still gives it a better way to roll. So I feel that's probably the way they should go for it.
Might say, oh, then the whale is gonna have quad speed within a
Exactly.
day, right? Like, if whales decide to do that, I don't really see a problem with that. It doesn't really bother 99.9% of player base. Like, if a whale
Kind
decide
of
to
right on
spend
that, but
$10,000 on Chaos Ore to have quad speed on every piece of gear, let them do that.
so the thing with that is, if a whale does that, we know Plarium does everything about analytics, and if 300 or 400 people go out there, and granted, that's not a lot, but a whale, if they want to whale out, will whale out $3,000 or $4,000 on a weekend. I've seen it done multiple times. I mean, I've seen people's accounts. I know people that have done that. I mean, I've occasionally done it too. So, but yeah, it's one of those things where I don't agree that it should be an infinite amount, and I think it should still be a fixed amount, but you should not be able to re-roll it and get the same stat. And it doesn't affect just the whales; it affects everybody else because that will all trickle down. You know, so if like a plat player that's been phased out because he just can't compete with those 400 or 500 whales, well, guess what? When he's not in plat, he's in gold 5, and he's farming me or you or anyone else that's in gold 5, and those are the teams that we have to go up against. Yeah, granted, we can choose to avoid them, but yeah, I don't think that it doesn't affect everybody else. It affects everybody else.
Just let them do that. Why does it matter? Right? I just don't like that they limited this to one. You only got one shot and it's gone forever. Alright, as if you're extremely lucky, you get a quad speed roll, something like that. I don't like that. Just let player do it as many times as they wish. Just increase the cost. That's how it is. If whales want to want to spend money on it, let them do that. It doesn't bother you. Alright. And the next thing I want to see is about clan boss. So when I first started playing this game, I actually really like clan boss. Alright, I really liked it. But the classic clan boss has been dead content for like 2.5 years. Ever since Unkillable clan boss team was publicly posted on YouTube by content creators, clan boss is basically dead content. I remember that was back in like February 2022. The first ever Unkillable clan boss team video I watched was from scratch. And after that, I just never touched my clan boss team. Basically, I swap any champions, but I mean, it's just dead content. And I actually had fun building my team around a lot of different champions on clan boss. A lot of people are saying clan boss is repetitive, it's not fun. I think it's okay. Like, what I think is unkillable is not fun. It's not fun to watch. It will only get you through 50 turns, and that's it, right? Like, but if you can just build a normal team and watch your team survive as long as possible, that's actually a very fun experience. Back in the day, you can only use, let's say, Krisk, Valkyrie, Autumn, Michelle, something like that. Like, build a team like that is actually a really fun experience. So what I want to see Plarium to do is maybe just introduce a new difficulty of clan boss where you are not able to use unkillable. Alright? Like, at all. You're not able to use unkillable, and also they have to do something about the Infinity clan boss thing, where people use Brogni just to basically never dies. Like people have to compete using a like normal team, like a Valkyrie, Krisk, or Poison Champion or Dracomorph, and they make a leaderboard. I think it's gonna be so much fun if they actually do that. They make like a clan boss tournament which people compete their one key clan boss damage on a new difficulty, and people are not able to use unkillable. I think this is gonna be a really fun gameplay. But
So I kind of agree and disagree with that. I love Clan Boss Team. I love pulling champs that are going to um, they're going to change my team. I mean, for the longest time, I was running Unkillable, and he's right. Unkillable teams are kind of boring. But I always like getting my team better, doing more damage. I'll post my video at the end, or I'll put a link at the bottom at the end of the comments or the of the new clan boss team I'm running, and I quite enjoy it. I mean, it does a lot of damage. I like seeing how Ninja smacks. I like seeing what kind of numbers I can do and what kind of affinity. Um, Now, adding a another level of difficulty and having unkillable ignored, I agree with. Um, and let's be serious. No one sits there and watches their unkillable team. No one's going to sit there and watch their clan boss team for 20, 30, 40 minutes that it takes. No, you would. I mean, this game already takes so much time. You're not going to do that. I can tell you in the mornings when I get up, I make my coffee, I turn my laptop on, I put my clan boss key on for both my alt and my main account, and I walk away. I come back in about 20, 25 minutes because I know that's how long it's going to take. And that's it. I don't sit there and watch it. I mean, a couple of times here and there, depending if it's like a Spirit Affinity, I'll watch to see what kind of smacks I'm doing. But overall, do I find it stale? No, because it really depends on what kind of champs you build, what kind of teams you build. Like, every so often I like to change it, and I do have a lot of players in the community that want to build different clan boss teams, and some people just hate Unkillable. So, there is a viewer that I'm currently working on with their clan boss team, and we've just been throwing sorry, ideas back and forth, and I find that fun. I like that. Getting on and looking on and theory crafting what's going to be the best team, what way to go about it, which champ is going to work better. Um, I agree again that we should get another difficulty. And the leaderboard thing, yeah, but you know that that's going to be taken out by the whales. The non-whales, the non-krakens are not going to have a chance at this. So, but I'm kind of 50-50 on this one. I do think that we should get a different, excuse me, a different level, a harder stage, but and unkillable should be taken out. Block damage should be taken out, to force us to kind of just go with a heavy shield or a heavy survivability. Um, but as for it being stale, I don't see it that way. Maybe endgame whales do because they just build a team, they leave it, and they're done. I don't. I really like clan boss, and I really like doing more damage. I mean, I think TM Surfer was on my account a couple of weeks ago and was like, "Why do you need to do that much damage?" Because I want to. I like it. This is what I find fun. So
um, I, I don't know if that ever gonna happen because I feel like as of now, Plarium kind of just abandoned Demon Lore.
they
They
have.
just kind of abandoned this content. It's yeah, it's such a shame because I think it is fun. It's just ruined by Unkillable.
It just provides a great resource on how to obtain some gear, shards. I mean, if it wasn't for Clan Boss, a lot of people would not be able to do fusions. Again, I agree and disagree. I explained why.
Unkillable strategy benefits everybody. It's just
Yeah.
destroy the fun of this game mode. That's how I feel. Alright, so yeah, these are the things that I really want them to do. And then I'm gonna talk about a couple points that I personally want to see, but probably not everybody's gonna see. So the next few things I want to talk about, you'll probably disagree. Alright, and that's fine. That's just my personal thing. The next thing I want to see them doing is I think they should add a 7-star to the champions. Alright. Hear me out. we have 6-star for more than 4 years. Alright, and if you are not new players, I would say like most of the champion you want to take to the max level, you should be able to do it, right? And I just think it's time to give a 7-star. Alright, maybe just not take 6-star champions, maybe like take 2 6-star champions, so you can bring 1 6-star to 7-star, something like that, right? Because
I totally disagree with that. I don't think 7 stars should be implemented. I mean, there's already a huge power creep between the whales and everybody else. Imagine a 4 star, imagine a 7 star, Leorius, fully um, fully empowered and with a 6 star blessing on it that he walks into the arena and boom, he hits you one time and you're dead. The whole team by himself. I don't think 7 star champion should be done. Um, I totally disagree with it, but I see why he's going at it. I mean, you do look at how many chickens he's got, 5 star chickens. He's got 851. I think on my account right now, I'm sitting on what, 69 chickens. He's also a content creator, so he gets them from Plarium every week. I think he gets like 5. I think on my alt account, I might be sitting on like 130 or 140 because I don't use them. I've been saving them, but he's right on the fact that it's just his chickens are capped. So what's he going to use it on, right? What other 5 star champ is he going to level to 6 star? I think what needs to happen is um once you hit that mark, the 999, you're not getting it anymore. um but I think what needs to happen is Plarium needs to add something um like World of Warcraft did. They added a garrison where you'd have to build like some sort of dupes to go in and do a quest for like the week, and like it'd have to be like uh 3 champions that all had ally attack or something to be able to down the boss or something, and then they come back once they finish and you get a reward or something. Um, but I don't think 7 stars should be added whatsoever. I disagree with that point so much.
look at how many chicken I have. This is
Yeah,
capped at 999, and we have this thing for more than 4 years. So why not give us a 7-star hero? Again, this is my personal thing. Like I said, you might disagree, and I think that's fine. Alright,
I think another thing they could do is, you could trade in like a certain amount of chickens and get a feast, right? I think, for people that are in that stage, those kinds of whales, I think that would probably benefit everybody. Is you trade in 3 of these, 4 of these, 5 of these, and you get a feast. And I think that's probably better, in my opinion. But will they do that? No, because they charge, what is it, like $40 for a feast?
because like I just pretty much lost fun leveling up champion for more than 2 years because every time I want to take champion to max, it takes like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It takes like 2 minutes, and I think yeah,
I mean,
just
look at his
give
roster.
us some further progression on these champions. Not talking about gear, you know, further progression that doesn't cost RNG, where you doesn't spend money on RNG. Like these red stars are purely RNG, and you have to spend money, which is not good, right? And the last thing I want to talk about,
You don't have to spend money. I mean, there's people out there that are free to play. You got Arabad, you got Kimpachi, who's like the $14 free to play person. Um, you don't have to spend money. Whales spend money. You can spend money if you decide to spend money. But there's players out there that are able to do this end game content, push Plat Arena if they want to. And I mean, Final Kimpachi is a perfect example. He pushed Plat Arena recently, placed, and he's not totally free to play because he has spent $14 on his account. But there are other players such as Arabad who is totally free to play, and he chooses not to play Plat Arena, but I'm sure if he wanted to push and spend the resources to re-gear and do a proper team for arena, he could. So I disagree with the fact that you have to spend money. You don't have to spend money. You can be free to play on here. I mean, there's a whole series being put on by the HH network that and the community is getting behind being free to play. I wish I could do that, but I just don't have the time.
Last thing I want to talk about is the shop. I haven't been spending money. Well, I spent a little bit. All I bought this month, it's already middle of the month. All I bought was the monthly pack. I bought the monthly pack, monthly gem, and the Forge Pass, and that's it. I really lost my interest spending money in this game. I will never run out of my gems. The reason being is Plarium gave me 1300 gem every week for making content for their game. So what needs to happen on the shop is really they have to massively decrease the price for these packs. For example, all these ancient packs, void packs, mini max pack, not talking about soulstone pack, all these things, the price was the same for the last 3 years. Like if we take a look at these pack in 2020, they are going to have the exact same price. I did not play during 2019 until the very last of 2019, so I don't know about 2019. But if we take these packs back to 2020, the price is exactly the same. That's more than 3 years. Alright, I think that's kind of like, why would you spend money here? It like $100 for 65 ancient shards.
That's a bad deal.
It doesn't even give you one legendary during the 2x event. Why would you do that? They
based on RNG.
And after
maybe.
you get that legendary, you also have to worry about the blessings, right? And if you want to compete in, let's say, Platinum Arena, you also have to worry about duplicates. You also have to do gear ascension, stuff like that. Since there are so many content that are monetized right now, they need to decrease the price for at least one of the monetized content. Let's say shards, right? Void shards, currently their price is still like $2.5 to $3 each, which is the same thing as 2020. 3 years later, it's still the same price. Like, I think in year 2023, what I want to see to void shards is each void shard should cost no more than $2 each. Let's say maximum is $2 each for void shards. And for ancient shards, I just would not buy it over like $1 each. Maybe 80 cents each is more reasonable to ancient shards, because spending $100 on this thing, it doesn't really get you anywhere. It doesn't really make sense for people to spend this money. You know, there are so many other content that are also monetized. Why would I spend on shards, right? So yeah, that's all I want to talk about in this video. These are the things I want to see.
So, I kind of agree on the shop thing, but you don't become $1 billion company in 4 years by cutting prices, right? You cut staffing, you increase prices, and I mean, we do have, everybody calls inflation. So I don't think that they're going to decrease the price of anything in the shop. Personally, that's only an issue for someone who spends, and you know, that's their problem if they choose to spend. You don't have to spend again. The only thing I do, I think is the best value is this gem pack right here. You can see I buy it every month. I do giveaways for it every month, every 100 subs on the channel. So we do have one going until Friday this week, by the way. But it's not. It's a whale problem. It's not a regular person problem. For, as he was saying, 99% of the community. You choose to buy it. You don't have to buy it. This isn't going to make or break somebody. If they don't want to buy it, they don't want to buy it. They have the extra cash, the money, they want to spend it, they can. But that's just from him. And I mean, again, he's got a roster. I mean, you saw all the +3s, +4s he had in there. So his account doesn't really need to pull anything other than like a new champ if one comes out. I mean, his account's not like mine, where I don't have, I have a handful of +1s. You can count them in one hand. But I mean, this is kind of it, right? I don't have a lot of the champs that he has +4, +3, +2. So it's still beneficial for me to be able to buy shards if I wanted to. Not that I do. Maybe once in a while if the prices come down on my spending, and I feel comfortable with it. But I don't honestly. I haven't probably bought anything other than the gem pack in like the last 2, maybe 3 months. Um, Actually, no, I did buy for one shard video. I do apologize. I did buy for one shard video when I pulled my Cardiel, but I bought a Void String pack, and yeah, I don't think that this shop needs to be revised. I do think that this shop needs to be revised because there's nothing in here as an endgame player that interests me. I log in 4 times to get my ancient shards throughout the month, and that's it. I buy the mystery shard every day to get my quest, and that's it. There's nothing else in here that benefits me whatsoever. What am I going to do with a 4-star? Sorry, a 4-star lifesteal boot? You know, that's speed. It doesn't, for me. It doesn't work, right? I don't need it. Now, if there was like 3-star food, if there was some speed glyphs, if there was some potions, if there was like chaos ore, or like you throw in like a 6-star piece of speed gear for like 1,000,000 silver. I could probably get behind something like that, and I don't even need to see what, you can make it totally RNG. Like, you don't have to show me the stats once I click on it. If it's a 6-star speed piece or a 6-star crit rate or whatever, and you price it at $1,000,000 silver, I think that's perfectly fine. They won't, but and then I do think that the other thing that needs to change is the 3v3 arena bazaar. This store needs to change, right? This is great right here. I buy it every month. This I buy on cooldown every day. I buy this on cooldown every day. I buy this on cooldown every week, and this one as well. I get my void shard every 2 weeks. I don't buy this anymore because it's not beneficial. I don't want 4-star blues or 6-star blues. These I buy on cooldown every day. I buy this every week, my energy every week. Depending on how much 3v3 I do, I might even buy my skill tome out of it, but I think the cooldown part is what needs to be removed. And just add more stuff in here. And then the last thing that I definitely think needs to change is the token trader. This has been out for over a year now. I mean, I want a Molly on this account, but I'm not going to eat, 6 legendaries together. You'll see I've got about 2,000 points, but what am I going to do with like 4 copies of each champion? That's like, I think, I can't even remember what champs were, but it was what was it? There was some. This is just like some dumb. I don't know. I can't remember what it was, but it was a champ that I'd never use. I didn't need him, so I was like, well, I wanted to get Manaya, but I just decided against it. So that's it, guys. I do, like I said, I agree with some of the points that he did mentioned. I don't think we should get 7-star gear. I don't think the pay shop needs to be revised. There is one last thing that I think needs to be revised. The Plarium pay points. I think those need to disappear. Or if you're going to give them as rewards, don't take something else away from us. That's totally bullshit. I don't agree with that whatsoever. So I think the way it's staged is fine, but to get to 25,000 points, you can see I'm still at 350 points. No, I'm sorry. I'm at 309 points. Move my camera a little bit. I'll show you guys. Yeah, 309 points. So I don't think it's this is gonna work. But yeah, I agree and disagree with a lot of the stuff he said. I think Clan Boss is good. You know, it still excites me. I'm sure it still excites a lot of the community on just building different stuff. It Unkillable just allows you, sorry, to just do a different damage dealer. You know, throw someone else on there that you wouldn't ordinarily use. Um, but I think if there's new level added, a new difficulty added, definitely take out Unkillable. Definitely take out block damage, but make sure you give us proper rewards. Okay, proper rewards. Don't start screwing us over again and telling us and just giving us crap rewards. And then after, you know, like Hydra, I think is great. I love Hydra. I do my Hydra team on both my accounts every week. Like I really enjoy Hydra, and every so often, like I will go through and I'll rebuild my team. I like how it changes rotations every week with the starting heads. I find that still interesting, still fresh. Even though it's been out for over a year now, I still love Hydra. I mean, it was difficult in the beginning, but once you start building the key champs, once you start getting the teams, and people start, you know, putting out different strats, it's really great. I really enjoy it. But yeah, it's been long enough. I will pin a lot of the information down below to McChan's channel. The video where I did my new clan boss team, and we're also still doing a giveaway this week, guys. You have until Friday to pick. I'll link that video in the description below, and let me know what your thoughts are on everything going on. If you guys liked the video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give me a thumbs down. I'm okay with that. And let me know what your thoughts, if you guys disagree or agree with anything that he said or I said. Until next time, catch you later, guys. Bye.